Hello, friends. Susan Axelrod here, the Confidence Coach. Welcome to the Confidence Zone. What have you been doing with the last 200,000 hours of your life? Yes, I said 200,000 hours. That's about 30 years. My dear friend, Dr. Linda Rozell-Shannon, has spent the last 200,000 hours working feverishly on behalf of babies born with vascular birthmarks and the families who love them. I'm here today to talk about what it feels like to be confident to have this kind of impact in your life. 30 years ago, Linda had a baby, Christine, who was born with a fleshy purple birthmark on her face. That was the day Linda started learning about hemangiomas. From that day to this, over 200,000 hours, she has become the world leading expert in vascular birthmarks and anomalies. From that day to this, she set out to create an army to defend these children and their families and to fight against doctors who say, oh, don't worry about it, it will go away. From that day to this, she created and has sustained an institution, the Vascular Birthmark Foundation, found at birthmark.org, and has networked into treatment more than 150,000 people born with vascular birthmarks. Each and every single one of those people is surrounded by people who love them. So by extension, Linda Rozell-Shannon has impacted hundreds of thousands of people around the world. To go out further in the concentric circles, Linda has become a single-handed guide to teach doctors, interns, and other medical providers about vascular birthmarks and anomalies. She herself has traveled with medical missions around the entire world to bring the education, information, and training so that doctors everywhere will be able to support babies born with these kinds of birthmarks. 200,000 hours is less than the number of hours in all those years, but even Dr. Linda has to sleep sometime. I met Dr. Linda about 30 years ago, 29 years ago, when she attended just a small workshop that I was giving on fundraising basics. She sat there that day like a sponge and then came back to me to ask for more and more and more. And I gave her everything she wanted. And as she is with her incredible brain, she became a student of this important area of business, fundraising and philanthropy, to sustain this foundation, which has become an institution in this area. Over these years, though I didn't know anything about vascular birthmarks, I have become one of the people in the concentric circles concerned, aware, and on the army, as part of the army, to fight for and defend these people. Doctors will tell you, oh, just leave it alone, ignore it, and it will go away. And Dr. Linda is here to tell you that's not always the case. And some of these birthmarks need to be treated with medical treatment. 200,000 hours. How confident do you think you have to be to work for 200,000 hours, fighting against people who tell you you don't know what you're talking about, fighting against people who tell you you can't do this, fighting against people who tell you you'll never do this? How confident do you need to be? Dr. Linda is a person of deep and abiding faith, and it was in a conversation with God that she committed that if God helped her, she would spend the rest of her life leading an army on behalf of Christine and all the other babies born with birthmarks. And from that day to this, she has been the general of this army. I want to ask you, what have you been doing for the last 200,000 hours? I know I've been working hard, but have I been working in as focused a way as Dr. Linda? No, I haven't. So over all these years of studying my own self and working in my business, I have learned that I'm not the one intended to impact hundreds of thousands or millions of people, and I'm okay with that. But rather, I impact you if you are a person deeply impassioned, deeply concerned, deeply convicted about your area of work. And if that is you, then I am here, I am ready, and I have the tools and the system to help you make a very big difference in that area of concern. Confidence often is one of the things most lacking in an early entrepreneur. Linda had a full-time job at that time. For decades, while she did this work, she had a full-time job. So she needed even more confidence to persevere in this area. And I want to ask you, how confident do you feel to be able to do what you want to do? How confident do you feel to actually persevere and break through the blocks, barriers, and resistance that others will put on you, and even your own soul, throws up at you sometime? How confident do you feel to be able to change the lives of other people in an area that you care about? I'm here to say, if I can support you in this, please contact me. In the meantime, if you are a person who has a vascular birthmark or anomaly, or knows someone who does, I want to invite you to go to birthmark.org. This website has become the world library for this area of information. Don't hesitate to go over there and search around, surf around, scroll around, read, and especially look at the pictures of the beautiful babies Linda has helped over these decades. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the Vascular Birthmark Foundation. We are honoring Dr. Linda. I am on the team. I am a sponsor for this, and I invite you to join us if this story has inspired you. I will put a link in the comments. If you are moved to make a gift of $30 to support someone like Dr. Linda, I invite you to do so. Your $30 gift will go a long way. So Susan, are you actually soliciting in your live? Yes, I am. I don't do this very often. You won't see it from me very often, but I know how much people really need to be inspired by others who are making this kind of difference in the world. And so I'm here to give you that opportunity. All right, my friends, that's it for today. You'll find the necessary links in the comments wherever you're seeing this video. I invite you to join me to honor an extraordinary human making a difference in the lives of hundreds of thousands of people around the world. See you again in the Confidence Zone. Bye-bye.